Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're going to be talking about online marketing.
Okay.
And specifically, we're going to be looking at Matt Bailey's book, Internet Marketing.
Sounds good.
We're ready to kind of dig in and extract some of the insights that he has there.
Yeah.
So for today, we're going to be focusing on links and social media.
Okay.
So imagine you're building like a digital city, right?
Yes.
Links are going to be the roads that connect everything.
Right.
And then social media is going to be like the bustling city center
Okay, I like that.
where everyone's hanging out.
Yeah,
So are you ready to map out your online success?
absolutely.
Okay, great.
I think Bailey gives us a fantastic kind of blueprint to start with. And one of the first things that really struck me was how he reframes how we think about links.
Okay.
You know, we always hear about links in terms of SEO and all this technical stuff, but he kind of boils it down to something much simpler.
Yeah.
Like he says that links are like virtual thumbs ups from other websites.
Okay, I like that analogy.
Yeah.
So the more thumbs ups you have,
Mm-hmm.
the more Google's like, hey, this website must be worth checking out.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
and it's not just about the number of links, it's about the quality of links as well.
Right.
So, having a link from a well-respected site in your niche is worth way more than a bunch of random links from, some spammy directory or whatever.
That makes sense, yeah.
So quality over quantity when it comes to links.
Okay, so how do we figure out which links
Mm-hmm.
are like the golden roads, the ones that are really going to lead to more traffic and conversions?
Well, Bailey argues that we need to really analyze the source of each link.
Yeah.
Like, where is it coming from? What
Mhm.
kind of site is it? Is their audience similar to ours? And he even shares a case study where a single link from a very popular blog in a particular niche just skyrocketed a website's ranking.
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
So you're saying like blog links are almost like long-term investments?
Yeah, think of it this way. Social media is like a fireworks show. It's this big burst of attention, but it fades really quickly.
Right.
But a link from a good blog, it's like a steady stream of visitors coming to your site over time.
Okay, so we need to be prioritizing those connections, those relationships with relevant blogs in our niche.
Yeah.
That's where we can really pave the way for lasting success.
Yeah.
I like that analogy.
Now, Bailey also calls blogs websites on steroids.
Yes.
What makes them so powerful?
Well, search engines, they absolutely love fresh content.
Uh-huh.
And blogs are content machines. They're always churning out new posts, new articles, attracting visitors. It's like they have a built-in SEO advantage.
But isn't posting too often overwhelming for readers? How do you find that sweet spot?
Oh, that's a great question. And Bailey, he suggests finding that balance. Consistency is key, but it's more important to focus on quality over quantity.
Okay.
Think of your blog as a snowball.
Uh-huh.
Every valuable post you write, it makes it bigger, attracts more visitors, and it gives Google more to love about your site.
Mm.
I love that analogy. So it's not just about cranking out content. It's about building something substantial over time.
Exactly.
Now, you mentioned Google loves blogs. What about people, though?
Yeah.
Do visitors who come from blogs,
Mm.
do they actually convert into customers?
Well, Bailey argues that they're actually way more engaged than someone who just lands on your homepage, for example.
Okay.
Think about it. If someone finds your blog post about, let's say the benefits of organic dog food, they're already interested in that topic, right? That they're actively searching for information, and they're much more likely to stick around, explore your products, maybe even sign up for your email list.
So it's a much warmer audience.
Exactly.
They're already primed and ready to engage with your brand.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's zoom out a little bit and talk about the entire social media landscape.
Yeah.
Bailey takes us on this tour of a whole spectrum of platforms,
He does.
from discussion forums to YouTube to photo sharing sites.
Yeah, and each platform is like a different neighborhood in our digital city. And what's interesting is that Bailey sees discussion forums as these hidden gold mines.
What do you mean by gold mines?
Well, think of them as these virtual town halls where people are having real conversations about their needs and their experiences. It's a treasure trove of customer insights.
So we should be listening in.
Yeah.
And using that information to improve our products and services.
Absolutely. It's market research straight from the source.
Okay.
But remember, these are communities, not billboards.
Right.
Don't just barge in and start promoting your stuff.
Yeah.
Be helpful, answer questions, and build relationships.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So where does YouTube fit into this digital city?
Well, think of YouTube as the entertainment district, but with a twist.
Okay.
It's not just about funny cat videos anymore. Bailey reminds us that YouTube is actually the second largest search engine in the world.
Wow, I knew it was big, but I didn't realize it was that big.
Yeah.
So how can we leverage this massive platform for our business?
Well, by creating videos that answer people's questions, solve problems, or just entertain them.
Okay.
And don't forget the SEO basics. Use relevant keywords in your titles, descriptions, and tags so people can easily find your content.
Okay, so YouTube is about education, entertainment, and optimization.
Yeah.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what about those visual platforms like Instagram and Pinterest? Do they have a place in our digital city?
Absolutely. They do think of them as the art galleries and design studios where people go for inspiration.
Okay.
You can showcase your products in a visually appealing way, tell your brand story, and connect with a much wider audience.
How do we stand out, in a sea of perfectly curated feeds?
That's a good question. By being authentic and engaging.
Okay.
Use high-quality images, craft compelling captions, and use relevant hashtags to reach the right people.
Okay.
And just like on other platforms, don't just broadcast your message, interact with other users, leave comments, and build relationships.
So the key takeaway here is to really think about each platform's unique vibe and create content that fits that environment.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Now, one of the things that really surprised me was Bailey's take on negative reviews.
Oh, yeah.
He actually challenges the assumption that all bad reviews are detrimental.
He does.
Like he actually argues that a well-handled negative review can enhance a business's credibility.
That's right.
Wait, hold on. So you're saying a bad review can actually be good for business?
In a way, yes, it's all about transparency.
Oh, okay.
Imagine you walk into a store and everything looks perfect, but it feels almost too perfect.
Yeah.
A little sterile, maybe even fake.
Right. Makes you wonder if they're hiding something.
Yeah, exactly. Now imagine you see a store with mostly glowing reviews, but there's one negative review, and the business has addressed it politely and professionally.
Okay.
It might actually make you trust them more.
That is fascinating.
Yeah.
So instead of freaking out about a bad review, we should see it as an opportunity to showcase our commitment to customer service and transparency.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It humanizes your brand and shows that you care.
I like it.
It's all part of building genuine connections in our digital city.
So the key takeaway here is to be authentic, transparent, and responsive in all of our online interactions.
That's a great way to sum it up.
Okay, so I think that's a good place to pause for now.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive into internet marketing.
I hate that.
We've talked about the power of links, the importance of building relationships with relevant blogs, and how to navigate the social media landscape.
Right.
And we've even challenged the assumption that all bad reviews are bad for business.
Yeah.
So be sure to join us for the next part of our deep dive, where we'll explore even more of Bailey's insights and recommendations for online marketing success.
I'll be here.
All right, see you then.
See you.
Okay, so we've talked about the importance of links, those virtual thumbs ups.
Right.
And how to navigate the social media landscape like our digital city.
Yeah.
But before we move on, let's circle back to blogs for a minute. You mentioned earlier that Bailey sees them as a key part of any online marketing strategy.
He does. He absolutely does. And what I find fascinating is how he approaches it from a business perspective.
Okay.
It's not just about writing for fun. It's about creating a blog that actually supports your overall business goals.
So it's like building another wing on our digital city hall.
Exactly.
So typically designed to attract visitors and drive conversions.
That's a great way to put it, yeah.
But isn't everyone blogging these days? How do you make sure that your blog stands out from the crowd?
That's a good question. Bailey cites a survey by HubSpot
Okay.
that found that businesses that blog regularly attract 55% more visitors than those that don't.
Wow, that's a huge difference.
It is. It's significant.
So consistency is key.
Yeah.
But what about the content itself?
Right.
Any tips on how to create blog posts that people will actually want to read?
Well, Bailey suggests thinking of your blog as a resource center
Okay.
for your target audience. What questions do they have?
Mm-hmm.
What problems are they trying to solve? Create content that provides valuable information and answers those questions.
So it's about being helpful and establishing yourself as an authority in your niche.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And don't forget about those SEO basics we talked about earlier,
Yeah.
using relevant keywords in your titles, descriptions, tags.
Right.
Make sure those blog posts are showing up in search results.
Okay, so we've got valuable content, we're being consistent, and we're optimizing for SEO.
Mm-hmm.
What else can we do to maximize the impact of our blog?
Well, promoting it
Okay.
through other channels like social media and email marketing.
Yeah.
Share links to your latest posts, engage in conversations, and encourage people to subscribe to your blog's RSS feed or email list.
So it's about treating your blog as an integral part of your online ecosystem,
Yeah.
not just a standalone entity.
Exactly. Think of it as a central hub that connects to all the other parts of your digital city.
I like it. Now, one thing I've always wondered about is how to actually design a blog
Mm-hmm.
that's both visually appealing and user-friendly. Any tips from Bailey on that front?
Oh, he's got a whole section on blog design.
Okay.
And he stresses the importance of clarity and simplicity.
Okay.
Your blog should be easy to navigate,
Yeah.
clear headings, subheadings, bullet points.
So it's about making it easy for people to scan and find the information they're looking for.
Exactly. He also recommends using high-quality images and visuals,
Okay.
to break up those large blocks of text and make it more engaging.
Okay, so we've got the design down.
Yeah.
Now, how do we get people to actually subscribe to our blog and become those regular readers?
Well, Bailey suggests offering both email subscriptions and RSS feeds.
Okay.
Not everyone is familiar with RSS feeds, so having that email option makes it more accessible to a wider audience.
And email subscribers are valuable because you can collect their email addresses and use them for marketing purposes, right?
Exactly. You can send them newsletters, promotional offers, other targeted messages. It's a great way to stay top of mind and nurture those relationships.
Okay, so we're building our email list, we're creating valuable content, and we're promoting our blog across different channels. Anything else we should keep in mind when it comes to blogging?
Yes. Track your results.
Okay.
Don't just assume that your blog is successful because you're publishing content.
Right.
Use analytics
Yeah.
to track your traffic, monitor your engagement, and see which posts are really resonating with your audience.
So it's all about being data-driven and using that information to refine our strategy over time.
Exactly. It's a continuous process of learning, adapting, and improving.
Now, speaking of data and analytics, Bailey also talks about the importance of understanding and leveraging the power of paid advertising.
He does.
What are some of his key insights there?
Well, he breaks down the different types of paid advertising platforms, from search ads to display ads to social media ads. And he emphasizes the importance of choosing the platforms that align with your target audience and your business goals.
So it's about being strategic with where you spend your advertising dollars.
Exactly. He also stresses the importance of targeting your ads effectively. Don't just blast your message out to everyone.
Right.
Use the targeting options that are available on these platforms to reach the people who are most likely to be interested in your products or services.
Makes sense. You don't want to waste your budget on people who are never going to convert.
Exactly. And he also talks about the importance of creating compelling ad copy
Okay.
that grabs attention and entices clicks.
Any tips on how to write ad copy that converts?
Well, he suggests focusing on the benefits of your product or service,
Okay.
highlighting what makes you unique, and creating a sense of urgency.
Okay.
And don't forget to include a clear call to action.
Yeah.
Tell people exactly what you want them to do.
Okay, so we've got our targeting down, our ad copy is on point. What else do we need to consider when it comes to paid advertising?
Landing pages.
Okay,
These are the pages that people land on after they click on your ad.
so it's like the welcome mat to our digital storefront.
Exactly. And your landing page should be specifically designed to convert visitors into leads or customers.
Okay.
It should be clear, concise, and focused on the offer or product that was advertised in your ad.
And we need to make sure it's optimized for mobile devices too, right?
Absolutely. More and more people are accessing the internet on their smartphones and tablets.
Yeah.
If your landing page isn't mobile friendly, you're going to lose a lot of potential customers.
Okay, so we've got our landing page optimized.
Yeah.
What else do we need to do to ensure that our paid advertising campaigns are successful?
Track your results.
Okay.
Don't just throw money at paid advertising and hope for the best.
Right.
Use the analytics dashboards that are provided by these platforms to track your clicks, your conversions, your return on investment.
So it's about being data-driven. Just like with blogging, we need to constantly analyze our results and make adjustments as needed.
Exactly. It's an iterative process. The more you track your data, the more you'll learn about what works and what doesn't, and the more effective your campaigns will become.
Now let's move on to another key aspect of online marketing: building and nurturing relationships with influencers.
Okay.
What insights does Bailey offer on this front?
He argues that building relationships with influencers is essential for building brand awareness and credibility.
Okay, but what exactly is an influencer and how do we identify the right ones for our business?
Well, an influencer is someone who has a large and engaged following on social media or other online platforms.
Okay.
They could be bloggers, journalists, YouTubers,
Yeah.
anyone who has a significant online presence and whose audience aligns with your target market.
Okay, so once we've identified some potential influencers, how do we actually reach out to them and build those relationships?
Well, Bailey suggests starting by following them on social media, engaging with their content, and sharing their work. Okay.
Then you can reach out to them directly and introduce yourself and your business.
But how do we make sure that we're not coming across as spammy or salesy?
Yeah, it's all about being genuine and offering value.
Hmm.
Don't just contact them asking for a favor.
Right.
Offer to collaborate on a project, share their content with your audience, or simply express your appreciation for their work.
So it's about building a mutually beneficial relationship.
Exactly. And remember, building relationships takes time. Don't expect to connect with an influencer and immediately get them to promote your product. Nurture the relationship over time, and you'll be more likely to see positive results.
Now, shifting gears a bit, Bailey also talks about the importance of online public relations or getting featured in online publications and blogs. How does that tie into the bigger picture of online marketing?
Well, he sees online PR as a powerful way to build brand awareness, establish credibility, and earn valuable backlinks to your website.
So it's like getting those virtual thumbs ups from authoritative sources just on a larger scale. Exactly. And just like with influencer marketing, it's all about building relationships and offering value.
So how do we go about securing those coveted media mentions?
Well, Bailey provides a framework for pitching your story to online publications and bloggers.
Oh, okay.
He emphasizes the importance of doing your research, identifying the right outlets for your target audience, and crafting a compelling pitch that highlights the unique angle of your story.
But with so much content being published online these days, how do we make our pitch stand out in a crowded inbox?
Well, he suggests personalizing your pitch, highlighting the benefits to the publication's audience,
Okay.
and offering exclusive content or insights.
Okay.
And don't forget to make it easy for them to say yes, include all the relevant information, links, and visuals they might need.
So it's about making their job easier and demonstrating that you understand their needs.
Exactly. And just like with influencer marketing, be patient and persistent. Online PR is a long game, and building relationships with media professionals takes time.
Now let's talk about a topic that's near and dear to my heart: social media. Bailey offers a ton of valuable insights on how to leverage social media to build brand awareness, to connect with your audience, and drive business results.
He does. He really does. And what's fascinating is how he breaks down this complex world of social media into manageable steps.
Okay.
Emphasizing the importance of understanding the unique characteristics of each platform and crafting a strategy that aligns with your specific business goals.
So it's not just about being on every platform, it's about being on the right platforms and using them effectively.
Exactly. He provides practical tips for creating engaging social media content, building a loyal following, and measuring the success of your efforts.
So it's about treating social media as a strategic marketing channel, not just a place to post random updates.
Right, and he also cautions against some common pitfalls like spreading yourself too thin across too many platforms or being overly promotional.
So it's about finding that sweet spot between being present and engaged without coming across as spammy or salesy.
Exactly, and just like with everything else in online marketing, it's about being authentic, building relationships, and providing value to your audience.
Now, speaking of providing value, one of the things that really stood out to me in Bailey's book is his emphasis on the power of video marketing.
Yeah.
Why does he believe video is such a valuable tool for businesses?
Well, he highlights how video has evolved from, a passive form of entertainment to an active tool for education, information sharing, and even customer service.
Okay.
It's a highly engaging medium that allows you to connect with your audience on a much deeper level.
So it's like having a face-to-face conversation with your target market, but at scale.
Exactly. And he provides practical tips for creating high-quality videos that are well-produced, visually appealing, and tailored to the platform where they'll be shared.
So it's not just about pointing your smartphone at something and hitting record.
No.
There's an art to creating videos that people will actually want to watch.
Absolutely. He suggests investing in good lighting, sound, and editing. And he emphasizes the importance of telling a story with your videos, something that will capture people's attention and make them want to learn more.
Okay, so we've got our video production basics down.
Yeah.
Now, how do we make sure our videos are actually seen by our target audience?
Well, he provides tips for optimizing videos for search engines, promoting them through social media and other channels, and measuring their impact.
So it's the same principles we've been talking about all along: optimization, promotion, and analysis.
Exactly. And he reminds us that video marketing is a long-term game. Don't expect to upload a video and immediately go viral. It takes time and effort to build a loyal audience and see consistent results.
Now, speaking of evolving technology,
Uh,
Bailey also dedicates a whole chapter to the importance of mobile marketing.
hmm.
Why is it so crucial for businesses to have a mobile-first mindset these days?
Well, because more and more people are accessing the internet on their smartphones and tablets.
Right.
It's become the primary access point for information and online interactions.
So if your website isn't optimized for mobile devices, you're essentially invisible to a huge portion of your potential customers.
Exactly. Bailey stresses the importance of having a mobile-friendly website
Yeah.
that's responsive and adapts seamlessly to different screen sizes.
So it's about creating a positive user experience no matter what device people are using to access your website.
Right, and he also encourages businesses to consider developing mobile apps,
Okay.
which can provide a more immersive and personalized experience for users.
So it's about taking a holistic approach to mobile marketing, ensuring that all your online touchpoints are optimized for the mobile experience.
Exactly, and he provides practical tips for promoting your mobile presence using tactics like QR codes, social media integration, and location-based services.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about blogging, paid advertising, influencer marketing, online PR link bait, social media video marketing, and mobile marketing. Is there anything else we need to cover before we wrap up this deep dive?
Yes, email marketing.
Ugh. Good old email. I was wondering when that would come up. Why does he believe email is still such a valuable tool in today's digital landscape?
Well, he positions email marketing as a complement to other online channels, not a replacement.
Yeah.
While social media might dominate the headlines,
Mm-hmm.
email remains a powerful tool for building a loyal audience and communicating directly with your customers.
So it's like having a direct line to their inbox where you can share valuable content, promote your products or services, and nurture those relationships.
Exactly. He emphasizes the importance of building a permission-based email list,
Okay.
obtaining explicit consent from recipients before sending marketing messages.
So no buying email lists or spamming people who haven't opted in.
Right. It's all about respecting people's privacy and building trust. He also stresses the importance of creating engaging email content
Okay.
that provides value to your subscribers, whether it's informative content, exclusive offers, or personalized recommendations.
So email marketing isn't just about sending boring newsletters. It's about creating content that people will actually look forward to receiving.
Exactly. And he provides practical tips for segmenting your email list,
Okay.
tailoring your messages to specific audience segments to increase their relevance and impact.
So it's about treating your email subscribers as individuals, not just a mass audience.
Right. And he provides a roadmap for making email marketing a successful part of your overall strategy,
Okay.
from crafting compelling subject lines to optimizing your email design for different devices.
Okay, so we've got a ton of strategies to implement, but before we get overwhelmed, let's talk about conversion rate optimization, or CRO.
Okay.
What insights does Daily offer on how to actually turn those website visitors into paying customers?
Well, he emphasizes the importance of understanding your visitors' behavior,
Okay.
using analytics and user feedback to identify roadblocks and optimize the user experience.
So it's about figuring out why people aren't converting and making changes to your website to address those issues.
Exactly. And he stresses the importance of testing different elements of your website,
Okay.
from headlines and calls to action to images and page layouts, to determine what resonates best with your audience and drives the most conversions.
So it's about using data and experimentation to figure out what works best.
Right. And he provides a framework for thinking about CRO, breaking down the process into manageable steps.
So it's not just a one-time fix. It's an ongoing process of analyzing, testing, and refining your website to maximize conversions.
Exactly. It's all about making it as easy as possible for people to take that desired action, whether it's signing up for your email list, downloading a resource, or making a purchase.
Now, we've covered a lot of ground here today, but I feel like there's one key concept that we haven't addressed yet: the buying cycle.
Okay.
How does Bailey suggest we align our online marketing efforts with the different stages of the buying cycle?
Well, he emphasizes the importance of understanding where your target audience is in the buying cycle.
Okay.
And tailoring your content and messaging accordingly.
So it's about meeting people where they are in their journey, not just bombarding them with the same message, regardless of their level of awareness or interest.
Exactly. He breaks down the buying cycle into 4 stages: awareness, consideration, decision, and action.
Okay, so if someone is in the awareness stage, they might be searching for general information about a problem or need, right?
Right. They might not even know that your product or service exists yet.
Okay.
So your content should focus on educating them about the problem and offering potential solutions.
And if someone is in the consideration stage, they might be comparing different products or services.
Exactly. Your content should focus on highlighting the benefits of your product or service and differentiating it from the competition.
And if someone is in the decision stage, they might be ready to make a purchase, but still have some lingering questions or concerns.
Right. Your content should focus on making it easy for them to buy,
Okay.
providing clear calls to action, and addressing any remaining concerns.
And finally, in the action stage, they've made a purchase and are now a customer.
Exactly. At this stage, it's important to focus on customer retention and building loyalty.
So it's about creating a seamless experience that guides people through each stage of the buying cycle, from initial awareness to becoming a loyal customer.
Exactly. And Bailey provides tips for tracking your customers' progress through the buying cycle and nurturing them along the way.
So it's about using email marketing, retargeting ads, and other tactics to stay top of mind and guide them towards a purchase.
Right. It's all about creating a personalized and engaging experience that meets your customers' needs at every stage of their journey.
Okay, so we've talked about aligning our marketing efforts with the buying cycle. Is there anything else we should consider before we wrap up this deep dive?
Well, Bailey wraps up his book with a call to action,
Okay.
urging readers to take what they've learned and put it into practice. He reminds us that online marketing is a journey, not a destination.
So it's not about achieving some mythical state of online marketing perfection.
Right.
It's about constantly learning, adapting, and improving.
Exactly. He encourages us to embrace the challenge, to be bold in our efforts, and to never stop learning.
Because the online world is constantly evolving, right?
Yeah.
What works today might not work tomorrow.
Exactly. He also reminds us that online marketing is ultimately about people.
Okay.
It's about building relationships, creating value, and making a positive impact on the world.
So it's not just about driving business results, it's about using these tools and strategies for good.
Right, and he encourages us to have fun along the way. Online marketing can be challenging,
Uh-huh.
but it can also be incredibly rewarding when you see those positive results and know that you're making a difference.
I love it. So before we move on to the final part of our deep dive, where we'll explore some of Bailey's specific recommendations for online marketing success, is there anything else that really stood out to you from Bailey's book? Any key takeaways that you want to emphasize?
Yes, storytelling.
Oh, I love a good story.
Yeah.
Why does he believe storytelling is so important in online marketing?
Well, because stories connect with people on an emotional level. They're more memorable and persuasive than dry facts and figures.
So instead of just listing features and benefits, we should be weaving those elements into a compelling narrative that captures people's attention and makes them want to learn more.
Exactly. Bailey provides tips for incorporating storytelling into your website, content, social media posts, videos, and even your email marketing campaigns.
That's a great reminder that people buy from people.
Mm.
They want to know who you are, what you stand for, and why you're doing what you're doing.
Exactly. Stories help humanize your brand and build trust with your audience.
Okay, so storytelling is key. Anything else we should keep in mind as we continue our online marketing journey?
Building a strong online reputation.
Okay, our online reputation is like our digital storefront, right? We need to make sure it's clean, inviting, and reflects our brand values.
Exactly. He suggests monitoring your online reviews, responding to negative feedback, and proactively seeking out positive testimonials.
So it's about being proactive and taking control of the narrative surrounding your brand.
Right. And he reminds us that building a strong online reputation takes time and effort. It's an ongoing process that requires consistency and authenticity.
Okay, so we need to be mindful of our online reputation and use storytelling to connect with our audience on a deeper level, anything else.
Be helpful.
Okay, so it's not just about promoting our products or services. It's about providing value and helping our audience solve their problems.
Exactly. He suggests creating content that answers common questions, provides practical tips, and offers solutions to real-world challenges.
So it's about becoming a trusted resource for our target market.
Right, and he reminds us that being helpful doesn't have to be complicated. Sometimes it's as simple as responding to comments on social media or answering questions in a forum.
So it's about being present and engaged and always looking for ways to add value to the conversation.
Exactly, and he emphasizes the importance of being patient. Online marketing takes time. Don't expect to see results overnight.
It's a marathon, not a sprint. We need to be persistent and consistent in our efforts.
Exactly. He encourages us to embrace the power of the internet and use it to build relationships, create value, and make a difference in the world.
That's a great note to end on.
Mm.
So before we move on to the final part of our deep dive, where we'll explore some of Bailey's specific recommendations for online marketing success, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Just that online marketing can be a challenging but incredibly rewarding journey. Embrace the challenge, stay curious, and never stop learning.
I love that. So are you ready to dive into the tactical side of things?
Absolutely. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of how to make these strategies work for us.
All right, so we've laid the groundwork, we've explored the strategies, and now it's time to get down to brass tacks.
Okay.
What are some of Bailey's top recommendations for actually putting all of this into action and seeing some tangible results?
Well, he kicks things off by stressing the importance of having a well-designed website.
Yep.
It's your digital storefront, your 24/7 salesperson, so it needs to be visually appealing,
Right.
easy to navigate, and optimized for conversions.
So no cluttered layouts, confusing navigation, or walls of text.
No, none of that.
We need to make it easy for people to find what they're looking for and take action.
Exactly. He also stresses the importance of creating high-quality content
Okay.
that's informative, engaging, and relevant to your target audience.
Okay.
And he reminds us that content isn't just blog posts. It can be videos, infographics, ebooks, podcasts,
Right.
anything that provides value and helps you connect with your audience.
It's about creating a content ecosystem that caters to different learning styles and preferences.
Exactly.
Some people prefer to read, others prefer to watch, and some like to listen on the go.
That's right.
Okay.
And he encourages businesses to use search engine optimization, or SEO,
Right.
to improve their website's ranking in search results. It's about making sure your website is visible when people are searching for the products or services you offer.
So SEO is like making sure your digital city is on the map.
Yeah.
You want people to be able to find you easily when they're exploring the online world. But isn't SEO this big, mysterious thing that only experts understand?
Well, Bailey does a great job of demystifying SEO.
Yeah.
He breaks down the key concepts in a very clear and concise way, explaining things like keyword research, on-page optimization, off-page optimization.
So it's not just about stuffing your website with keywords.
Right.
It's about creating high-quality content that's relevant to what people are actually searching for,
Yeah,
and then making sure your website is structured in a way that search engines can easily understand and index.
exactly.
Okay.
And he also talks about the importance of building high-quality backlinks from other reputable websites.
Okay.
It's like getting those virtual thumbs ups from other businesses in your city,
Right.
signaling to search engines that your website is trustworthy and authoritative.
Okay, so we've got our website optimized for search engines. We're creating valuable content,
Yeah.
and we're building those all-important backlinks. What about social media?
Yeah.
How does Bailey suggest we weave that into our online marketing strategy?
Well, he provides tips for creating engaging social media content, building a strong online following,
Great.
and choosing the right platforms for your target audience. He emphasizes the importance of being consistent, authentic, and engaging.
So no more posting sporadically or just blasting out promotional messages.
Well,
We need to treat social media as a two-way conversation
mm-hmm.
where we're building relationships
Yeah.
and providing value to our audience.
Exactly. He also explores the world of email marketing, which we touched on earlier.
Right.
He provides tips for building an email list, creating effective email campaigns, and segmenting your audience to send more targeted and personalized messages.
So email marketing is all about nurturing those relationships and staying top of mind with our audience, even when they're not actively browsing our website or social media profiles.
Exactly.
Okay.
And he also discusses the importance of paid advertising, explaining how to use platforms like Google Ads and Facebook Ads effectively to reach a larger audience and generate leads. He emphasizes the importance of targeting your ads, effectively crafting compelling ad copy, and creating landing pages that are optimized for conversions.
So paid advertising is like putting up billboards in our digital city,
Yeah,
strategically placed to reach the right people at the right time.
exactly.
But just like with traditional billboards, we need to make sure our message is clear, concise, and eye-catching.
Exactly.
Oh.
And he stresses the importance of tracking your ad campaigns and measuring your return on investment
Right.
so you can make sure your advertising dollars are actually working for you.
Okay, so we've got a lot of tools and strategies at our disposal. But how do we keep up with the constantly evolving world of online marketing. She feels like there's always a new platform,
Yeah.
a new algorithm, a new trend emerging.
You're absolutely right. And Bailey reminds us that online marketing is a journey, not a destination.
Okay.
It's about being adaptable, willing to experiment, and never stopping learning.
So it's not about finding that one right way to do online marketing.
Right.
It's about embracing the ever-changing nature of the online world
Yeah.
and being willing to adjust our strategies as needed.
Exactly. And he encourages us to have fun along the way. Online marketing can be challenging, but it can also be incredibly rewarding
Yeah.
when you see those positive results and know that you're making a difference.
So to wrap things up, what are some of the key takeaways from Bailey's internet marketing? What are the things that our listeners should really focus on as they navigate the world of online marketing?
I'd say the biggest takeaway is the importance of building genuine connections with your audience.
Okay.
Whether it's through your website, content, social media interactions, email marketing, or even paid advertising.
Yeah.
It's all about creating meaningful interactions that build trust and loyalty.
It's like building a community within our digital city where people feel welcomed, valued, and heard.
Exactly. And he reminds us that online marketing isn't just about selling products or services.
Right.
It's about creating value and making a positive impact on the world.
So it's about using these tools and strategies for good, not just for profit.
Right. And he encourages us to be patient, persistent, and never stop learning. Online marketing is a marathon, not a sprint.
And to have fun along the way.
Yes.
Well, I don't know about you, but I feel like I've learned a ton from this deep dive into Matt Bailey's internet marketing. I'm feeling inspired and ready to put all of these strategies into action.
Yeah, it's a great book.
He really does a good job of breaking down these complex concepts in a clear and actionable way.
Yeah, I agree.
And I appreciate how he emphasizes the importance of building relationships, creating value, and using online marketing for good.
Absolutely. It's a great reminder that at the heart of it all, online marketing is about connecting with people and making a positive impact on the world.
So as you continue your journey through the world of online marketing,
Yeah.
remember to stay curious, be bold, experiment, and never stop learning.
Good advice.
And most importantly, have fun.
Absolutely.
Thanks for diving deep with us.
It was my pleasure. Thanks for having me.